Hey guys, Bearded Rogue here, and today I wanted to talk to you about the WWE Cruiserweight Classic, or as I like to call it, the best thing on the WWE network right now. As everybody knows, I love NXT. Absolutely love NXT. However, NXT is a developmental territory. So while you have your Shinsuke Nakamuras and your Finn Balor's and your amazing people, you also have your people who are brand new to the industry, people who haven't done a lot of time in the industry, people who are still learning. And it's a perfect place for them to grow and develop, and it's awesome watching them grow and develop. But the Cruiserweight Classic is a place for people who are already that good. And I was kind of holding out to talk about it until I saw how it all played out. But I can, after the last 2 weeks, sufficiently say that it is the best wrestling on the WWE Network, period. It may be my favorite wrestling program right now. It's totally the opposite of Lucha Underground, whereas Lucha Underground has these evolved stories and characters and everything's lives in this supernatural fantasy world that they've built together and fleshed out through the actual movie-like cutscenes between matches. The Cruiserweight Classic is almost a reality series. The matches are still scripted. It still plays out like a typical wrestling show, but it feels totally different. The emphasis is completely on the technical acumen of these superstars, and really has done a good job of making everybody, whether they won or lost the match, look amazing. Like, if the WWE used this kind of booking on a regular basis, everybody would come out of every match looking like $1,000,000, whether they won or they lost. It's just that good. It's just that good. The action in the ring is amazing. There have been a few little minor hiccups here and there, but for all of the high-flying and amazing things that they're pulling out of nowhere in this Cruiserweight tournament, I've not seen anything this exciting, I think, ever. I think the Super Juniors tournament in Japan is like this every year, but this is the WWE big-budget version of it. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. The main events of the last 2 weeks, the first one I'll talk about was the final main event in the first round of the tournament, which was Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, and Tommaso Ciampa, the Psycho Killer. If you're an NXT fan, you're familiar with both of them. They're a tag team. That was all that they needed to create the drama for this match. They had two best friends, who were both faces, going out there and kicking the living hell out of each other in one of the most hellacious things I think I have ever seen. And then, they end it sitting down in the ring, hugging each other. Still allied, still a tag team, with huge amounts of respect for each other. It was a really good illustration of having faces compete against each other, which isn't something that you see very often. I think the last time I can remember it was Daniel Bryan and John Cena, seeing two faces compete against each other and have both of them still come out of it as faces, with neither one having turned, neither one treating the other like crap, no residual animosity, just two people who respect each other and know what each other's capable of, going at each other as hard as they possibly can in the ring. And it was amazing, the show that they put on for everybody. The match this past week, the main event this past week, was Kota Ibushi, who is one of the most amazing cruiserweights in the world, straight out of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Going against Cedric Alexander, who I had only slightly heard of before. I believe he does a lot of stuff on the West Coast. But my mind was blown. The Sami Zayn Nakamura match from 2 takeovers ago was one of the best matches I have ever seen in my life, and I think this may have topped it. I may have to totally change my mind on what a good match is. It may have ruined me for other wrestling. It was packed full of false finishes. Both people got their offense in. Everybody was selling moves. Everything looked real. The disbelief on people's faces when people would kick out looked real. it was just artistry, pure artistry. And with Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo as the announcers on the show, first of all, I could listen to the two of them talk about wrestling all day long every day, because they're both so knowledgeable about it. They both just paint the picture of what it's like. It's the best commentary since JR, by far. Best commentary since JR. Corey Graves is the only person who's even in their league. And like, just hearing them talk about the matches and talk about the stories of each of the people. Like, it's not like ultra soap opera like Monday Night Raw or anything like that. Like, they just tell you who these competitors are, why they're here, you know, what their dreams were, why they're in the WWE, what their family life is like, you know, what challenges or struggles they've gotten to get here, what relationships they have with the people they're facing. You know, when Tajiri was in the ring, they were talking about how long he's been a wrestler and all the different stages he's competed on. They gave you ways to care about the characters that weren't manufactured melodrama. And that's something that I miss in wrestling these days. It's something that NXT has in spades. Reasons to care about the people that are in the ring entertaining us beyond the soap opera bullshit that gets thrown around. Like, they weren't fighting over manufactured love interests. There wasn't anything ridiculous like that. They were fighting for honor, pride, and the top spot. And it's just awesome to see. It's absolutely awesome to see. Their motivations are clear. Everybody walks into it without, like, there are almost no heels or faces. Like, everybody walks into it as a competitor, like a legit competitor competing in a legit tournament for a legit prize, which gives it a very different feel than most of the other wrestling that's on television. That's why I said it's kind of like an opposite of Lucha Underground, in that Lucha Underground creates this very dense, manufactured narrative structure over the top of things with this evil El Jefe who's running a temple where they sacrifice people in order to keep the end of the world away. Like, it's just this kind of batshit insane, almost movie-like plot line. And this is the opposite. Like, this is like legit competition, like boxers, you know, the kinds of stuff you would say about boxers, how they honed their technique, who they trained with, what their family life's like, why they do what they do, what kind of things have they overcome to get there. Like, they made me care more about one of the people in the first round by talking about how hard he worked to get over his speech impediment in order to do promos, than I have given a crap about half of the main roster, like, ever. Even with the brand split, like, even with the brand split, there's just some people that some wrestlers that I'm just never going to care about. So why bother showcasing them? Whereas in here, like, every single one of them had a story. Every single one of them gave me a reason to care about them, no matter what it was. And the in-ring action has been phenomenal, like, top-notch phenomenal. I cannot wait to see how it all plays out. I think it's going to be fantastic for everybody. Other than that, yeah, Cruiserweight Classic. Like, it is a classic. It's going to go down in history as one of the greatest things WWE ever did. And I'm really glad that I'm getting to see it as it rolls by the first time. Anyway, that's it for today. So, Bearded Rogue, out.